Welcome to another episode of Beer and Ball. My name's Adrian Dagostino. That's my co-host Brian Gross. And today we are going to talk WBC. We're going to talk the championship. But first, Brian, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. Just finished recording the first episode of Betting with B, so that was fun. So check that out later tonight and then as we go. But just excited to watch some WBC baseball night and definitely gonna have dual monitors going because of March Madness. So
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, big games today too.
huge.
I'm excited for the US tonight. Obviously, we'll get
Yes.
into that, but such a great feeling to watch one of your teams win. I know both of us are Buckeye fans, and Ohio State won the national championship last year, but not last year prior to that. But it's nice to see one of our teams, especially as Clevelanders, like win because we
Yes.
don't see that very often.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. But definitely check out Betting with B. That will be out tonight, like he said. Uh, it will just be a series like any other ones that we have here. It will be on Bridge to October, the YouTube channel. But Brian also has his own Instagram page and all that. So I'll link that in the description below. Definitely check that out. He's got some great stuff there. And, we're going to keep grinding for you folks.
Let's
But
go.
without further ado, man, let's talk about last night's game. Venezuela came back and beat Italy 4-2. Obviously, big implications for that game. Winner went to the championship game. That's tonight on Fox at 8 p.m. at Lone Depot Park. Another sellout and a great atmosphere yesterday. I just want to talk about what your overall thoughts about that atmosphere and how that game played out yesterday, Brian.
Yeah, it's fun, man. Like you could tell Venezuela's really playing for something. Um, like I kind of mentioned the other episode yesterday, like there's been a lot of stuff going on in the country, so like they just want something to rally around, and you could tell like everybody with descent or anybody with some Venezuelan heritage or even from there, they just love watching this team, and this team plays so hard for them. Like we've talked about it 1,000 times with this team, it's so loaded and so deep. So just getting that type of atmosphere in Houston is just it's fun to see. And kudos to WBC. They're obviously picking the right ballparks to go to too, because um, it's different countries every time, so it's kind of hard sometimes. You don't might not know who your fan base is going to be, but the fans are just coming out in droves, and it's so fun to see. Team Italy was a fun ride, but selfishly, I was kind of happy we got Venezuela. I just think it's a better game. Just better ratings overall. I didn't really need to go get the Italy win again. It was kind of a fluke, like we talked about. But other than that, the atmosphere is just awesome. Like it's the reason this is the best sport. It's so close to like global soccer. That's like the best thing I can think of. Like the sounds and the sights.
Yeah,
What would you?
you
What were
make
you
a great
thinking?
point of like this was the best place for. Oh, sorry, you make a great point. You're lagging there for a second. I
Oh,
don't know what
sorry,
was going
folks.
on, but um, it's not your fault. Um, but overall, man, you made a great point about like the location of the game, right? Miami is perfect for like teams in the Caribbean that are like Dominican and Venezuela, right? They're like literally across the stream. They're perfect there. For the United States tonight, it's going to be like a road game for them because of the Venezuelan presence in Miami, especially. So that's awesome that they have that and they made the right decision like that. And as you said, I want to ask you a question because Francisco Cervelli, he really managed a great tournament. I think he made a questionable decision either way if they won or lost that game, pitching Nola and then going with Lorenzen with their lack of bullpen depth, of course. But I want to get your thoughts about that. I kind of like the move, but if they won this game, I think they would have been deep shit against Team USA.
Yeah, it just seemed like a Hail Mary. Like I didn't think they needed it that early. I thought Nola could have gone more, personally. I didn't think he looked that bad. That Delucia from the Tribe organization was pitching well. You got other guys you can piece together. I think at the end of the day, like if you really wanted to bring Lorenzen, you could have brought him in the eighth and the ninth. Like it seemed like a quick Hail Mary. It seemed like a haven't been here in this situation because like Italy's been up in a lot of these games. Like even the Puerto Rico game, they went down early, but they came right back and then kind of took control of that game. So Venezuela kind of knew if it was the first team to get ahead, that was really going to have a huge advantage, and especially once they got into that bullpen. I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't a terrible decision. They only gave up 4 runs, but I don't really know where. I don't know. It would have just been an ugly championship. I'm just kind of happy for the tournament itself that this is just going to look like a little better championship.
Yeah, and the talent differential for Venezuela and the United States is not much different
Yeah.
compared to Team Italy. I think Team Italy was better strategically. That's why they made it this far. I mean, they have talent, obviously, but compared to like the teams that they beat, the United States and so on and so forth, Puerto Rico, I thought was a better team than them too. The way that they played so hard for Francisco Cervelli, and honestly, his like strategy to pitch Nola in the first couple innings and then go at Lorenzen worked until about the seventh inning when
Yeah.
Venezuela put up the three spot. And the reason they put up the three spot was because Ronald Acuna Jr. beat out that ground ball to extend the inning and scored the tying run. And then Venezuela exploded. But yeah, I totally agree. I think that this is going to be a better matchup for the United States. Obviously, we'll get to that when we get there. But your overall thoughts about the game, like how the script kind of just flipped in that seventh inning, because it looked like Team Italy was in control, like not dominating, but in very much control of their own destiny once Lorenzen came in there for that first inning.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that's why I question the Nola like decision so much because like yeah, Suarez hit one out to left center, but like that's kind of what Suarez does, and it was just I just hang. It is what it is. Like you give up a solo shot, you're still up 2-1. You're one of the best hitting offenses, constantly driving in runs every game. I just thought it was a super panicky move, and I think a clubhouse can feel that when you like run out that type of pitcher right away because they knew he wasn't going to go the rest of the game. So like eventually you were going to have to hit that bullpen. You were just kind of delaying the inevitable for no reason instead of trying to maybe get back and all of a sudden take that momentum back because I feel like just after that home run and once they pulled Nola, even though Lorenzen pitched well, they just never had any momentum the rest of the game. They just weren't hitting
For
with runners
sure.
in scoring position. They obviously went up 2-0, didn't score the rest of the game, and I believe that was in the second inning. So it's one of those things where baseball is such a game of momentum, especially in that case where I think if Nola would have got out of that inning, maybe he could have gone even one more. All of a sudden, you have two more innings with the lead, so maybe you're swinging a little more free. The mindset's different. It just seems super tight the last half of the game. And as much as I love the Italy guys and everybody jokes about like, oh, they're just Team USA, like there's a reason they weren't on Team USA. Like guys, like there's a reason these guys weren't on Team USA and on Italy. So like the talent eventually weighed out to a point. So yeah, game wise though, I just thought they looked super tight. Italy looked really tight, and I kind of expect that from guys that aren't. None of them are really super. Like Vinny P's great, but he's not even the best player on his own team. Jack's not the best player
No.
on his own team. Dominic's not the best player on his own team. They're very good players, but you look at the USA, every single guy is probably the best player on his team. So
Yeah.
same with Venezuela. So it's just a big difference, and they just looked really tight. But credit to Cervelli, credit to the pitching, and you know what? The more you talk about it, you're right. Like just you can't talk about what you're going to do in the championship if you're not in the championship, right? So at the end of the day, you got to use your big guns, figure it out the next day. So credit to Italy, but they just seem super tight.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that because watching them this entire tournament, they played so free. They played so hard. They were going first to third. They were slugging. They were clutch with runners in scoring position. This game, they were 1 for 5. That was the worst that they had all tournament. That ultimately, I mean, they had to play their best baseball every single game to win. They didn't
Yeah.
have the talent compared to these other teams. But honestly, man, we're going to move on to the Team USA game. But before we do that, I want to talk about, the impact Francisco Cervelli has on Team Italy baseball. For a country that is not really known for baseball, doesn't really have a lot of active major league talent. You and I are both Italian descent. We were both very proud of how they came out and, played and presented themselves. What kind of impact do you think that, this run brought to Italy? And could you see even more Italian guys come into the Major League Baseball and the pros alike?
Yeah, I think it's all about what they do with the sport now. I think like the biggest thing they got done now is they brought it out to the viewpoint of everybody. People know what baseball is now. People know probably what position some guys are now. They have a couple players that they're going to follow in the league now. So now it's about how much more can the MLB and the Federation of Italian Baseball and all that can keep growing with the game. Because now it's hot. Now you got it like, it's basically like It's almost like cooking something. Like you finally got the heat up all the way and you're starting to boil water. Now it's like time to put in hot pasta. That's funny. Italian, Italy. But now it's time to like actually put the food in and see how it's going to actually cook. Now you got like the excitement up, but like if they don't have like national leagues and young programs being started at this point, like it's going to take years, but like they've done in other countries, it's not going to it's probably just going to be a fun thing to see every 3 years. But I think they could definitely do it. Soccer's not the Italian soccer team has not been great lately. So, and I definitely think there's every country is kind of getting a little more open to finding out about new sports. That's definitely something I'm known as like an MMA fan, just seeing so many different countries in. There's just so many guys into different things now, and there's like a dude on Instagram that wakes up at 3 a.m. for the Miami Dolphins, and he lives in like Tokyo. Like people will find the teams they like. So now it's about like what can the country and everyone else in the country like do to keep growing the sport because it's hot now. So you might as well try to keep the iron hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be a bold take. Some people might not like it, especially the way that he handled. People thought he handled the loss to Venezuela like differently because he was also excited that again Venezuela is his home country. But
Yeah.
the impact that he made on Italian baseball was Signetti like in my eyes. This is going to be a country that one is going to start developing because they were in that. They're hungry for more, right? When Indiana, lost to Ohio State, lost to Notre Dame, what'd they do? They went out in the transfer portal, brought in a bunch of guys to get that taste of victory, to get that national championship. That's going to be the same thing for Team Italy. They're going to want their own guys, right? They're going to want their own flesh and blood. That's what Francisco Cervelli has brought to Team Italy, and that's the impact he made overall. That's my point of view. What do you think about that? And then after this, we'll move on to Team USA, Venezuela.
No, I love it. I love it. I mean, I agree. Like, I think he really brought it out into the forefront. I don't know if it's Signetti level, but I do like the aggressiveness there. Like the way they played this year, you just need people following the sport. Like you just need people following the sport. So now it's so many Italians are gonna watch Vinny P. So many Italians are gonna watch. Like there's probably gonna be so many Royals fans, so many Royals fans now because of Jack and Vinny P. Dominic Canzone, Dante Nori. They're gonna follow these guys now. So
Antonacci,
Tanachi, yeah. So
stud, dude.
yeah, just a fun team. Like shout out Paisans.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And credit to Team Italy. They did a great job. And, credit to Team Venezuela, who we're going to talk about right now. Wow, what a ballsy and gutsy win they had yesterday. All started because Ronald Acuna Jr. hit a hard ground ball. Nice stop by the shortstop, Antonacci, but he couldn't make the play because Ronald Acuna was running 100% with, two ACL surgeries. It's very impressive. I don't care if it was in the hole and all that, but gutsy win by them yesterday. They're playing a Team USA that's starring Nolan McLean, who had an awful outing the last time around. What do you think adjustments he needs to make? Do you think it's more about him being tight and nervous, pitching, in a bright lights for his own country for the first time? Do you think he'll be more relaxed, kind of knowing what he's going to go through this time? Or what are your thoughts?
I'm hoping he is. I don't necessarily think I was a little more high on him early in the tournament. Yeah, I think the moment's just too big. I think it kind of showed against Team Italy. That wasn't really like the biggest game in the world, and he kind of folded pretty quick. He's so young. Just might need some time to get ready. I just think it's going to be a short lease for him, maybe like 10, 12 batters, if that. Like I could see him getting pulled in 2, 3 innings easy. So hopefully he can keep him calm enough. I just don't see a big difference. Like Logan Webb, Paul Skeens' performance, those dudes are just different. I mean, Nolan McLean's got a long way to go before proving he's in that type of guys. It's kind of like I was kind of viewing him more as this is going to be like a terrible scale. This is going to be a terrible scale, but like I was thinking more instead of him being like I think this would be similar to like putting Cam from the Yankees, Schlittler on the team like super hot or just Savage or somebody like that, like super hot but right about 3-4 months of tape in essence. I was kind of envisioning Nolan McLean a little more to like and he's not, but like Paul Skeens, where like it's a proven young guy already. Yeah. And I kind of overestimated that fact, and I think it showed. And he'll be a great pitcher. I still love his stuff. I just think they have to have a short leash. I think Boyd's got to be ready to go. He's still on the roster, right? Because they got rid of Waka. Yeah, Boyd's still on the roster. I think Boyd's got to be ready to go. Hell,
think we
I mean, we
lost
might see
Brian
Logan
there.
Webb for an inning or two. I don't know. Could, but it's gonna be a bullpen game, and just hoping we can get a lead to the seventh because I think once we get there, we should be good. But luckily, they don't have a strong hand on the other side either. So both teams are kind of playing with their third fiddle. Oops, sorry, folks, a little technical difficulty right there. But that's all right, because we're going to keep it going for you. But again, for the most part, that's going to be the USA Venezuela or USA Venezuela Championship tonight. Again, it's going to be 8 p.m. on Fox. We'll try to add some more in if we can. Keep an eye out at around later tonight. We're going to release my March Madness picks and so on and so forth. So this has been Beer to Ball. Appreciate you guys dealing with this technical difficulty here. It's been a pain in the ass the whole day here in Cleveland. So again, Venezuela, USA, Eduardo Rodriguez versus Noah McLean,
Right,
8 p.m. on Fox. USA right now -5. We got Andrew back. Let's go.
Yeah, my
That's all right. This is live TV.
tree fell in my neighbor's yard. Yeah,
I was just talking about how the weather's been a bitch.
yeah.
I was almost
No,
going to close it out. I had like a minute of rambling, but it was not bad. I was about to close it out, and I was going over the lines again, and I was like, "Oh, perfect." This is live TV,
You're
folks.
good.
I was just talking about kind of where we're looking at in the scores today. So it's like -275 for the U.S., +215 for Venezuela. One of my picks from Betting with B I mentioned was that over 9, but check in on that later. Venezuela right now plus money at +1.5. I have a feeling I know where you're leaning, Andrew, but where are you thinking? And if you want to add any analysis to this matchup here.
Yeah, I think this is what I was going to say after the Nolan McLean thing. I think it was a little unfair for us to just mostly like baseball world in general. This guy only had 8 starts last year.
Yes.
And he's a young kid, rookie, has great stuff, obviously. But, it's like a 5-star in college football. I'm going to keep using it because, Chris is coming on the show tomorrow. So I had to talk to him about it earlier. But it's hard to, you're comparing these kids to Paul Skeens, Jacob deGrom. But that's unfair because, 8 games is a small sample size, barely any tape on the kid. And, the league adjusts no matter what. Even in the offseason, the league will adjust to you. They'll scout you. They'll get a better, game plan for, your guys' approaches. But to me, looking at this matchup right now, Eduardo Rodriguez right now is going for Venezuela. And I think that is a positive sign for Team US. An offense that is already struggling with the likes of, Bryce Harper that's struggling. This is a perfect time to play Paul Goldschmidt, guy that hits left-handed pitching. I know that's not ideal, but another perfect reason to play Will Smith. He's been the better catcher in this tournament, and I think this helps overall because Ernie Clement will get opportunities. Guys that haven't gotten opportunities that thrive against left-handed pitching will get opportunities, and that's going to bolster the offense no matter what happens. Now, my thoughts is McLean, who had a really bad outing against Italy, could he do it again against a better Venezuela offense with Acuna, Ariz, Willie Abreu, Perez, Jimenez, Garcia? We saw it yesterday.
Chorio, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Chorio's 9. It's so crazy.
Just one of the deepest teams in this entire tournament, and that is my biggest concern. How is Nolan McLean going to show up and show out today? If he goes 5 innings with, only giving up 2 runs, the United States is going to win because even if they don't come through in the clutch today, with runners in scoring position like they have it the last 2 games, they're going to find a way. They're going to slug. They've shown that this entire tournament. They go with the long ball. They live and die by the long ball.
1,000%. They live in there's gonna be balls in the seats, 100%. Where I could see Venezuela killing us would be just the Italy mindset, right? Of just the constant jabs. We're fine with giving up a home run. So many guys on our team throw so fucking hard. If you throw that hard as a pitcher, you're gonna give up a couple home runs. You're just gonna have a guy that finds a barrel once. Cool, tip your cap. But you can strike out the whole lineup. I just don't think it's going to be that easy. This lineup's so fucking balanced. I keep kicking myself for not putting a futures in on them because they're the cleaner version and the not cleaner, I guess. Like the more polished version, I should say, of DR. Like maybe DR is like a little, like still a little more talent, but like these dudes just like I feel like they're way more balanced. They like fit all together way better. Like the team fits better. Like what some guys don't do great, other guys pick up. Um, and it's just like I think the reason I forget they have Churio on these guys is because they're such a team that you don't think of the individuals. You do think of just Team Venezuela's been fun. And then you're like, oh shit, you go through this lineup. But like, DR you can name everybody, right? Because it's kind of just a lot of individuals. So I know this is crazy. I didn't make an official pick, but like honestly, I really just have a gut feeling they're gonna win tonight, Venezuela. And I hope to God they don't. But for those odds, I think it's worth it. But that lineup's just filthy. But you're right. The long ball, like if they can get ahead on Eduardo Rodriguez, like a Judge 2-run homer in the first like three
Yeah,
batters, that's all they need to really get a jump start. And then that'll probably calm McLean down a little bit too.
for sure. They just got to jump out early today. They will be the road team. But like you said, dude, like
I think they actually have
this
the
is
home
more
team.
like
Didn't they win that coin toss? They did like a coin
I think
toss, I
so.
think.
Yeah, they said
Something
that
stupid.
Venezuela will. Yeah, it will be like a home game on or sorry, home game for USA on road turf. That's what the announcer
Yes,
said
yes,
yesterday.
yeah. Well,
But
that's
one
awesome.
thing I'll say is a great point by you. This, compare them to the Dominican. Like you said, there's a lot of individuals on both teams. But yesterday you saw Jackson Churio lay down a bunt, a guy that's only
Yep,
bunted 3 times in his major league career. I know he
love
was the
that.
ninth hitter on the team, but dude, he moved over the runner to second base. They were already down by 2 runs at the time. They got their first run home, and then the next 2 innings later, they had that 3 spot. So this is a team that just wants to win. They'll show you they want to win. They'll play like it. They'll play hard. They'll get the little things done. They'll get the job done. That's what you want out of teams like this. But for my pick, I was thinking about this. I'm biased and like a little bit of bias because you have to mix it in a little bit. I think the United States has a really good shot to win tonight because of the pitching matchup. I don't think Nolan McLean will get knocked around a lot compared to the other game. He will have to pitch like his worst fucking game the entire like tournament, which he'll have to outdo that horrible performance against Italy.
Yeah.
He can, but like, man, Eduardo Rodriguez does not scare me. He's not the
Well,
same guy as he was a couple years ago. So honestly, I'm gonna take the United States -1.5. I think we rode with the Venezuela -1.5 yesterday. That hit. We're going Team USA -1.5.
and my pick's the over, just like yesterday.
The
Mine
over.
was the under. So yeah, stick
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me with the over under. Stick with Andrew with the spreads. You guys will be all
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
Well,
will
I
be
was
all right.
scared about
And a
the
Bobby
no.
Witt ding dong, a Bobby Witt
Yeah,
leadoff
I
ding
was
dong.
scared about the 1.5 yesterday because for a while, like we said, Italy just looked like they controlled the game throughout. And then
Yeah.
that 3 spot happened, and I'm like, holy shit! All right, we're fine because I know they're not going to score with that bullpen.
Yep.
But yeah, it could be the same thing today. Team USA has a better bullpen. We know Garrett Whitlock is going to pitch today. David Bednar is not available. So they're going to have some questions there. But Will Vest, like we talked about the other day, will be available. So there's going to be new looks, right?
Yeah.
But I'm very confident. I'm very confident in the United States. But yeah.
How would
Anything
you
else
feel
you want
about
to
a
talk about?
Will? How would you feel about a Will Vest coming in because he hasn't pitched yet, right?
No, he has not pitched yet. How I feel, he gives me mixed emotions, but we've seen him in this league be very good and consistent for the Tigers.
I like him, but
Obviously, a guy with high velocity. Last year, he was a little bit hit or miss. Still had a pretty good year, but he's just a guy. He's a guy that gets the job done. I think that's perfect. I don't think he'll close today,
yeah,
or maybe I was gonna say Tyler Rogers, but Tyler Rogers isn't gonna close. He'll be your 8th inning guy.
yeah. Just keep
But
Vest away from the
expect to
eighth,
see
and I'm
those
cool.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Maybe have Whitlock close, because he already closed the game out in this
Yeah, I would.
tournament. But yeah.
Garrett's great, man. He throws strikes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go, Team
But
USA.
anything else you got?
No, man. Ready for the spokes.
Yeah.
Start of a great week.
Well, yes, sir. Well, check out Brian's new video that will be coming out today. Probably before the games. I'll get that out. We'll work on it. But I appreciate you guys for sticking around on this emergency beer and ball. And we'll see you next time on Thursday on Beer and Ball. Crack your favorite beverage open. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
See you guys.